Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about why we need to back things up and revisit something Boruto said in chapter 15 of 2 Blue Vortex, and with Kawaki being noticeably absent in chapter 16 of 2 Blue Vortex, that line, Boruto spoke to Kawaki regarding Naruto, it hangs heavier than it ever did before, which is why in today's newest Naruto Explain video, we're going to be taking a look at why Boruto bringing up Kawaki unsealing Naruto is a much bigger deal than you might think, especially given that Boruto might have unintentionally given Kawaki an escape out of one of the biggest problems that he finds himself in, where people are forced via omnipotence to believe he and Boruto switch lives, but the lies that he is told about Boruto killing Naruto could still blow up in his face, and Boruto has been openly telling people Naruto's still alive, which makes Damon sit in the corner laughing. We need to have a very serious conversation about how all these things are connected. Boruto's words to Kawaki in chapter 13 about unsealing Naruto, Kashin Koji's warning about the future needing to remain altered in only a minimal way in order to make the ideal ending occur, and Damon's warning to Kawaki that he's about to be exposed, and why Boruto might have given Kawaki an out in that regard. In today's newest Naruto Explain video, we're going to address all of these points as well as a few others as they are needed. So let's be real clear here. I don't think there's any disagreement here. I think we're all pretty much on the same page that when the series ends, we're going to fully expect to see Naruto unsealed at some point, likely after Boruto and Kawaki have their final battle, and Boruto beats Kawaki like a Cherokee drum hard enough that he knocks some sense into him, and Boruto's parents, they get unsealed. I would venture to say 90% of the fandom, they are of that belief. But as I was reading the chapter, one thing that stood out to me was that in hindsight, given everything we know about Boruto's situation, things are not always what they appear to be. Kashin Koji was revealed in the last chapter to have told Boruto that in short, they must be mindful of not changing the future for selfish reasons. Something that we said here on the channel is likely going to be the source of conflict between Koji and Boruto, because whereas Koji will let the flow of time happen the way that it should, Boruto, due to his kind-hearted nature, is going to want to step in and make a change where it is needed if it means saving the life of somebody, even if it means that everything they plan to use Kashin Koji's 10 directions for is made meaningless because it changes the future. Boruto would do it. Kashin Koji was specifically written in the manga saying that the word "you" was bolded here when he told Boruto the greater you diverge from the track that we call fate, the greater the risk that the future becomes unstable. It's almost as if Kashin Koji saw something that Boruto would do in the future throws everything off. In one of those possible timelines he saw, that a possible variation of Boruto, a decision that he makes, does something that Kashin Koji cannot put a stop to, which is why he gave that warning. Previously, we had asked the question as to if it would have something to do with his sister Himawari being in danger, and based on the comments that many of you guys have made, it seems like you appear to be in agreement with me that Himawari is the one person we could say for certain that Boruto would throw away the future in peril if it meant saving his sister. However, when we dig deeper into the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex manga, there's also one other person who Boruto would do the same for, and dare I say it, he's already potentially set the groundwork in motion to do so, which is his parents, in particular his father Naruto. Right now, Naruto is stuck, hanging in that Daikokun dimension, floating in a space where time doesn't flow. He doesn't eat, he doesn't age. He is there because time is frozen there, while the rest of the world, it has moved on for the last 3 years. Naruto has literally been frozen in time, stuck at the age of 33, and when he returns, he's going to be in for a shock. His daughter Himawari, at a bare minimum, is now going to be 13 years old. His son Boruto, at a bare minimum, is now going to be 15 years old, and he's got a scar over his eye. Shikamaru, he's going to have an ashtray on the Hokage office desk where Naruto's special good luck charm of instant ramen used to sit. More importantly, in a world where the power levels have only continued to skyrocket as new threats pop up on the scene, Naruto would have found himself in the most dangerous position, a stagnant position, stuck at the same power level that he was 3 years ago and unable to do anything when the time comes. Yet, if we know that, you can bet that Boruto knows all that as well. He said it in chapter 13 that his goal was to have the entire Uzumaki family together again, so he can beat some sense into Kawaki, then celebrate with his family as if nothing ever happened. Kawaki never tried to kill Boruto, and Naruto and Hinata, they just forgive Kawaki for robbing them of the one thing that every parent holds dear, which is the aspect of time, because the moments you have with your children, they are memories that you will cherish forever, because as time moves on fast and the years go on faster, then you realize them transpiring, and when you finally do, you've got your kid telling you, hey mom, hey dad, you're gonna be a grandparent. Kawaki was told by Boruto in chapter 15 that Jura was a much bigger threat than either of them could ever hope to take on alone. He tells Kawaki that in order to have a chance, they need Kawaki to visit Amado and have Amado remove Kawaki's limiters, in particular the attack power that Amado has nerfed, so that Kawaki can fully gain access to Ishiki's power. That rightfully became the source of conversation by many fans regarding the manga, because hey, this is a battle shonen, right? You don't make a statement like that and then you don't expect us to get wet at the mouth with all the excitement, because power-ups give battle shonen fans power scaling orgasms. You probably came all over the screen when you heard that. Yet this new chapter, it makes you go back to another line that Boruto said and pay a lot closer attention to it now. Lost in everything was Boruto telling Kawaki that this situation, it would call for Kawaki to unseal Naruto in most cases, but he says that this is a situation where they can't really afford to have Kawaki unseal Naruto and have Naruto train him directly, because time, it is running out. In order for them to take down Jura, Boruto is strongly implying that while Konoha and Boruto have been on the defensive in terms of reacting to Jura's movements, they need to prepare for an offensive counter-strike when the time calls for it, but not before they make the needed preparations. Boruto says that this is a conclusion that Kawaki would have come to at a later point in the story, but Boruto's telling him now, hey, we need to speed the process up. Does this sound familiar to you? It should. Boruto is using the same words, give or take, that Kashin Koji used when he explained how he was going to train Boruto and basically sped up Boruto's training, where he made his own variation of the Flying Raijin, but it took Boruto into the future 7 years, give or take a few months, to go through the trial and error process of learning the technique and applying it to his weapons. Yet Boruto, in that span of the conversation, was able to get the basics and promised to fine-tune the jutsu even further and make the required backtracks to focus on the basics to avoid cutting corners, so that he could truly master this power. Shows great growth on Boruto's part. However, Boruto intentionally told Kawaki that he should have gone to Naruto before ever reaching this point. But now his only option is to go see Amado to remove his limiters. Kawaki, in that moment, he was stunned by what Boruto was telling him, and he was still processing everything before Amado began to weigh in, due to Amado seeing everything via the ninja tech inside of Kawaki's eyes. That seed, it was already planted into Kawaki's head. Several seeds were planted, actually, that storing away Naruto, it might not have been the best action he could have done. What good is it for Kawaki to seal Naruto away when the threats that he's trying to protect him from, they just keep popping up and increasing? First, it was, I need to seal Naruto away so I can kill Boruto because Momoshiki can hijack his body, which that is still a threat, mind you. Then it was, I need to seal Naruto away until I can kill Code and then destroy the Ten Tails. Now the Ten Tails has evolved into Jura, and Jura, he's this unstoppable foe. Yet here you have Boruto dropping the line that Kawaki by this point ideally would have already unsealed Naruto and had Naruto train him, since Kawaki is Naruto's student, which means that there is something that Naruto could have passed down to Kawaki that might have been of use, even if it seems insignificant to us as fans. Right now, Kawaki doesn't know about 10 directions. It's only Boruto, Kashin Koji, and Ada who know, but Amado was listening in on Boruto's conversation, and he's already pieced together that Kashin Koji's working with Boruto, but he doesn't know to what extent. But Amado, he's this walking Wikipedia page when it comes to the Otsutsuki Shinjutsu, which means that at some point, Amado would have known a rough idea of what the power he gave Kashin Koji was, even if, say, it's like Ada and he had a general idea about the mechanics of the Shinjutsu and he's just off base in them, like he believed Ada's power was the charm ability, when in reality it was a byproduct of the power of omnipotence to grant desires and make them into reality. In Ada's case, the desire to have everyone love her. Is it possible that Amado has made the same mistake with Kashin Koji, not knowing how far the 10 directions power works or how it works in general? That could be true, sure. However, if it isn't, and say Amado sees the chance to turn Boruto's knowledge of the future into a way to manipulate and gaslight Kawaki, there might be incentive for him to do so, to at least pour hot water into the sea, into Kawaki's head that is buried, about having Naruto have another role than just being floating in that timeless space where Kawaki can go hug his adopted father, move Hinata out the way if she gets a little too close to his Naruto-kun and say, this is my Naruto-kun now. I don't think we can rule this possibility out of Kawaki looking closer at the observation of how he handled the Naruto situation, especially with Damon telling him seemingly every 2 seconds that omnipotence only protects Kawaki from people not suspecting Boruto is really Naruto's child, but it offers zero protection from the lie that he told about Boruto killing them, because that took place after omnipotence was casted. If Kawaki were to unseal Naruto and Hinata, with there being any chance, say a 1% chance, that they would have their memories altered because of omnipotence, I think it's a gamble that he would take, and it's for this following reason. Omnipotence doesn't just get used once and then the effects stop. As in, okay, Ada uses this power and then the effects are only good for everybody that's there right when it's used. We see as much in how Ada years ago, at some undisclosed point in the timeline, used omnipotence to create a charm power that made everyone who was not a blood relative or an Otsutsuki fall in love with her. The effects there are still in place even after the initial casting occurred, particularly when new people came into contact with her. We've even seen it with omnipotence, as in it was used the second time to swap the memories that people had of Boruto and Kawaki. The moment that they are introduced to anything that makes them question Kawaki not being Naruto's kid, omnipotence basically waves a hey dummy sign in their face, and they suspend disbelief and they accept what is being told to them about Boruto being Naruto's kid as being a falsity, and they have to actively fight against it in the way that Shikamaru has been doing. The very concept of omnipotence, the word omnipotence, doesn't even stick in their head when they know what it is that the power is. Sasuke even struggled to do so by his own words, and Kashin Koji still has to fight it even though he knew with prior knowledge that all this would occur. Yet again, his memories, they are still altered despite knowing what was happening. There's another shoe that is waiting to drop here, one that is going to have the potential for there to be a nasty plot twist. It's going to make people hate Kawaki because the lining up of these chapters for the manga volume, they are way too close together for this to be a coincidence. This is why I say repeatedly, every 4 chapters, just go back and reread the story in one sitting, in particular reread it as a manga volume, because this has been a repeated theme where every volume of the time skip so far, someone has explained how omnipotence works and what omnipotence is, and they have been laying it on way too thick in this last manga volume. So in volume 1, Ada breaks down how the power works, and we learn that Sarada tried and failed to prove Boruto's innocence. In volume 2, Damon tells Kawaki that all this is going to blow up in his face, and then we have Shikamaru learn the truth about omnipotence. In volume 3, we see Kawaki taking advantage of omnipotence by having Boruto be pinned for the murders of the Jonin who intercepted Jura and Hidari. Even though Boruto had nothing to do with them, he still tried to cast, hey, Boruto's working with these guys. But as we see, Boruto still catches some back-end heat for the whole thing indirectly in volume 4. Speaking of volume 4, Damon is once again sounding the alarm bells to Kawaki that he's going to get exposed. the story. It is laying it on way too thick that there's something coming, for there not to be a subversion of expectations coming to us, either in a slow burner of a buildup like we had with Code getting his limiters removed and sprinkling all that foreshadowing that he was going to be a victim of the power creeping that was coming soon after he got his limiters removed, which I told you guys, hey, Code without limiters, he'll be stronger than Jigen, but prepare for him to get bodied. And I said it a full 10 chapters before that happened. And this is something I think could be coming. Maybe not faster than you guys clicking here to watch the newest chapter review or clicking here to watch the new video from my Explain channel where I talk about non-Naruto content, but it is definitely coming.